Hello there. Welcome to the live stream of Calming Anxiety with me, your host, Martin Hewlett. Good evening. If some of you were thinking I was going to be here at 8 o'clock UK time, the batteries died on the camera. I couldn't find the spare batteries. And not the most tech savvy of moments in my life. But I digress. So I wanted to jump on and talk about how we bounce back from setback. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And if this camera dies, then I'll be going over to this one, which shows just how messy my room is at the moment. But let's get this show on. Well, no, let's not say that. Let's just play some background music. And get comfy, really, and think about setbacks and why they really can impact us when we're trying to dig ourselves out of those bad moments that those of us, it's a fly, concentration, that quite a lot of us suffer from. Obviously, if you're watching this on the channel, then you at some point have obviously been anxious, and if you listen to the podcast, well, thank you for listening. So where do I come from, apart from my mum's tummy? Stop doing the bad jokes, Mark. My background, anxiety wise, is an eclectic personality disorder. There was 3 of me inside my head. Not schizophrenic, just people who've had tricky mental health upbringings. Nothing bad to say about my mum. Just that it can then affect us. And as a hypnotherapist, is that background music too loud? Sorry about that. As a hypnotherapist, we see a lot of people's issues, their current anxiety levels and their panic attacks are triggered by that young part of them. So in hypnosis, we have something called parts therapy. So without trying to make out that we're all bonkers, which most of us are, within us there is different parts, and each part of our brain is working in what it thinks is our best interests. And the analogy I always like to say to all of my clients and friends when I explain hypnosis is, let's take smoking, for example. So with smoking, as an adult, you want to give up. You have the best will in the world to try and give up. Excuse me, I just can't see that part of my screen. But when you started smoking because you wanted to fit in, and say you were 13 or 14 years old, that part of you is still making you smoke. It's still got your best interest at heart because it wants you to fit in society. It hasn't matured past that 13-year-old age. Under hypnosis, we open that doorway to the subconscious, and you, the client, then goes, hello, 13-year-old part, and the 13-year-old part goes, woohoo, hi. It might not do it quite like that. And you then say, look, buddy, it's now socially unacceptable to smoke, and I want to fit in by not smoking. And that 13-year-old part of you goes, I'm on it, and bingo, you don't smoke anymore. And the same happens for anxiety. So when you were younger, say like me, my angst, shall we put it, started at the age of around 4. And when I'm emotionally challenged, even at my ripe old age, I would revert and respond like a 4-year-old would. And trust me, I've done some eclectically immature things. On top of that, with childhood PTSD, you then have, or with any PTSD really, you have this moment of amnesia after you've done it. So I have a friend recently who's been diagnosed with PTSD, and they're ex-military, and it's only now surfacing the tricky things that he's done which he can't remember, the negative side of his personality. And with the right care, the right approach, you can get you, the client, to unravel this, understand it, and control it. It is absolutely empowering. I always say, when I had my mental breakdown about 7 years ago, I had one session of hypnosis, and bam, middle of a car park, when I walked out, I was like, oh wow, this is what normal feels like. So I put together everything that I'd learned. I went and retrained as a hypnotherapist, and I put that together with mindfulness and every experience I've had over 20 years, as well as a paramedic dealing with mental health patients, produced calming anxiety. So all of my sessions are there from that point, that empathic point, that I really don't want you to go through the same. I'd like to help you release all of your issues, and understand you can control them. However, I digress now. What do you do when you have that setback, when you wake up in the morning and you just can't be bothered? Or say, for me recently, after 20 years of a career I've absolutely adored, 2 days ago, actually yesterday, I realised I can't go back to the job I like, and I'd just spent 20 months wanting to. And it was a tricky decision, but you need to accept that life is far from simple and perfect. And although it was emotional, you can't deny that. You have to say, okay, that has absolutely happened. There is nothing I or anyone else can do about it. So I need to move on. Yes, you're allowed to feel sad and sorry for yourself. You know, that we're only human. But accept that you will have these dips in your journey in life, in improving. And just because you have these crap days, or it just goes completely wrong and you think there's no point, that is no reason to give up. It's no reason. Hey, look, subscribe. Hang on. No, it's the other way around, Mark. Ping. Do subscribe, please do. I really got to stop doing that. Sorry, I like tech. Oh, look, I can, and now I'm seeing myself on the other monitor like 20. You don't need to know that. So there you go. Now you can see that I have an attention problem. And no matter what your mental health issue is, you can own it. You can be proud of who you are. You don't need to make excuses and apologise for how you are. You are allowed to be you, right? And shameless plug. Yay! Shameless plug. It's actually just cold chocolate milk. Thank you. And I do like, so bouncing back from bad days. Give yourself time out. Give yourself that moment. Give yourself a day, right? Give yourself a week if you need, but that doesn't mean your journey's over. And all of that good that you've done, it doesn't reflect at all. It doesn't mean you have to give up whatsoever. I have clients that come back and say, I don't think this is working. I feel like this 2 weeks later. But that's not stopping them. That's not to say you cannot still progress, right? When you're doing a sport, and I've done a few in my time, I can say, you're allowed, with injuries, and my body is eclectically covered in some rather wonderful scars, which have put me out of training for sometimes 18 months, and you work around them. So I'm a martial artist, and I had a bad leg accident and I had surgery. I took up swimming for a while to get fit again. And our brains and our mental, let's say mental health, are no different from training our bodies. So you can be anxious, but that doesn't stop you improving other areas of your psyche. You know, you can sit back if you want and use your past as an excuse. And there's only one person that's going to bother, and that's you. And let's be blunt, we're all struggling and working our way through this miracle that's called life. There's 7.5 billion of us, and although you'll have a family member or a loved one care for you, you don't truly know how they perceive the world. The only person that truly cares about you is you. And you need to learn to care for your wonderful mind. You're allowed to feel down and you're allowed to feel sorry for yourself. But it's that bounce back. It's that making those small steps every day. Even if you feel like poo, you're allowed to do a positive action. Make your bed, brush your teeth, right? Smile in the mirror. These are small, attainable goals that you can achieve. Even when we're at our darkest, you can still improve. And for me, during my darkest moment, I would consciously make an effort to watch comedy on YouTube, elevating my happiness levels. And yes, I could cry and laugh at the same time. But I made an effort to stay on top of the darkness that so many of us who are on this journey have. And you don't have to give up, right? Think of this time next year, if everything went right for you. Where would you want to be? How would you want to react and think? Are you more consciously aware now? Hang on. I'm going to have to go to... No, not that one. That one. Sorry about that. The awesome camera has just died. That's a nice top you're wearing, Martin. Yes, it is, person out there in the interweb. And you could own... Look, if you want to earn it, you can. But you can go to my shop and buy this stuff. Wouldn't that be nice? If you do have a question, do pop it in the comments. I don't really know if anyone's watching this because I haven't got that screen up. And quite frankly, I just wanted to talk about bounce back, having gone... I'm going to look at the wrong camera as well. I'm such a professional when it comes to mindfulness and meditation and hypnosis. Spot on. But I am not by the extremist of thoughts, a YouTuber per se. as you can see by the fact that I'm now using a very cheap webcam and thinking I should have tidied that corner of the room down there. Yes, that's where I store things. But look, there's my Taekwondo manual. I'm rambling now. I do apologise. So, getting back to the other point I'd like to make. Over the coming weeks, I'm recording more hypnotherapy specific tracks for the Calming Anxiety app. This is open to you. If there's a particular session that you would want me to record that would benefit you, either leave them in the comments down below here on YouTube, or send me a direct message on Twitter. I think there's a link, so who knows, or email me, and the email address is calminganxiety@martinhewlett.co.uk. I'll be putting in ones to help with confidence about weight loss and body image. There's a really good session I'm recording on IBS, and some people go, how can you use hypnotherapy for IBS? One of the studies, and I do believe it's in the NICE guidelines, so that's in the UK, the National Institute for Clinical Excellence, that hypnosis has been proven to have the highest success rate at the end of a 6-year study. I will do my best to find those links so that I can put them on my website, and not just say, oh yeah, I believe it does this, but I've worked with friends and clients for IBS, and it's such an incredible session. So there you go. Thank you for watching. For my regular listeners to Calming Anxiety, you are what drives me doing this every day. We've together, if no one listened, it wouldn't be there. So for the thousands of you, thank you so much for putting your faith and trust in what I do. If I can help any more of you, if I can produce something even more impactful to help you, let me know. I think that's it. I think I better go and can I drink a little bit more? Will it focus on that one? Yes, it will. Excuse me. Scrummy. Don't forget that button. Oh, oops. See, I was stuck on that page, wasn't I? That's a bit of a, I was going to say pooey. Take care, everyone. Be kind to yourself. Next time you do a meditation session, choose your favourite affirmation and say to although some of the affirmations sometimes to some people sound a little bit new age and airy-fairy, our subconscious works in metaphor and imagery, and it works out what we're trying to do. And by thinking positively, you'll become positive. Your thoughts are your actions. Do one thing over the next week. Start to become aware of how you talk to yourself in your mind. If you drop something or you're clumsy, don't say you're stupid. Don't ever say you're a failure or you're ugly or you're useless. You're not. You're you, and you need to judge yourself about how far you've come. And some of you listening or watching this will say, well, I haven't achieved anything. Actually, let's just reflect on the fact you're watching this. You've searched for something like this. You probably watched other YouTube or listened to other podcasts along this niche. You've already embarked on that journey. You've prepped your subconscious for change, positive change. And trust me, if I can change, and I still screw up, but if I can change, become more self-aware, kinder to myself, you certainly can as well. There you go. I think that's it. Cheers. It's getting on a bit here. It's not that late. I might pop on again later. I gotta find those batteries for my nice camera. Right. Good night. Take care. Email me. Give it a thumbs up. Share this. Oh, download the app. It's on iOS and Android. It's called Calming Anxiety. Give it 5 stars. Share it with friends. Please. I'm not going to beg. But please. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.